All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that short break. And it was a bit of a longer extended, I'm really stressing the term or like trying to push the term short because it was a 40-minute break due to Penta forfeiting their match versus Fnatic. That was supposed to be our 20 o'clock CET match. Didn't happen, so we had a bit of a longer break there, which is why we're only coming back now at 21 CET with our next match of the night, which is going to be Flipsid versus Dignitas. So another best of one coming at you guys. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for sticking it out. But now we're going to get into the CS. It's only going to be starting in a couple minutes because we have a GoTV IP. So that means that players are joining the server. But I'm not alone doing this right now. Anders is with me here. Anders, did you survive that short break, bro?
Yeah, I think that the key here, Sumler, is just finding the right point of reference, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, the human race has existed. And, you know, if you think about that, then really these 40 minutes, like next to nothing, you know?
Blink of an eye.
Yeah,
They don't
you
even,
know, super swift.
And
Just,
then if we go into what the existence of the universe, Big Bang.
Yeah,
Planet Earth.
exactly.
It's all
So
about
really, you guys
scale.
have next to nothing to complain about, is what I'm saying here.
Mm-hmm. Keep it in perspective. Keep it in perspective. Let's keep things in perspective, right? I think that's important. But as far as this match is concerned, guys, it's going to be a best of one between Dignitas and Flipside. And as far as the league standings are concerned, both of these teams are pretty much at the bottom of the food chain, to put it lightly, because Dignitas they're sitting pretty far down with 21 points to their name, pretty far down compared to the 45 points that TSM have at the top of the pack. So Dignitas, this is a match that they're going to be playing out, I think, basically to get the experience to learn from whatever they've been working on in Prac. And, well, Flipside are sitting dead last in the group right now. 2 wins to their name, 6 points total. So it's it's one of those matches where we're really just going to be looking to see what these guys are going to throw at us here on Overpass.
Yeah, but I'm not too sad about that, really. I still think Dignitas is a pretty cool team. They've been having some pretty great results against all different kinds of teams recently. So I just want to see them grow, and I want to see them improve on pretty much all the maps. So, yeah, generally speaking, I still think it's going to be a quite a good match, even if we kind of know that for them to qualify is, I don't know what's going to happen there for that to work out. Probably not going to happen, just is it?
Maybe Dignitas if they win the next 5, but then even if they win, well, they have what, 6 matches left. They have 6 matches left, Dignitas. This is one of them. So if they win this one and then win the next 5, that'll put them up at 22 wins, which could tie them with TSM. So there is that. Perhaps.
All right, then.
Which could tie them with TSM for now. Because,
for now, yeah.
Because
until
TSM still
play
have
more matches.
Exactly. TSM still have 2 more matches in the group, but we're aiming at 22 here as the golden figure. All the teams play each other twice in this round robin format. 12 teams. So there you go, right? But yeah, that's I think Dignitas, like right now, unless they can pull off some of the biggest upsets in their careers, it's going to be a bit of a stretch for them to make it to that land cutoff. So it's definitely going to be a bit more of a learning experience match that we're going to have here right now.
Yeah, and there has to be room for that. I mean, I don't know what kind of pressure the Dignitas team is under from the organization or anything. I hope they have good support. Certainly, if I were in charge of Dignitas, I would. I'd actually be quite pleased with the way the team is running right now. Like, they don't seem to be resting on their laurels. They seem to be, like, every time they have a good result, they always, like, you know, they keep themselves cool and they continue to work pretty hard at it. I think this is a really cool team. I think they've got some good stuff going on for them. So even though it'd be great to qualify for a $500,000 league, or the playoffs anyway, it's still cool if they can just show us something impressive here.
Yeah, I agree. They're pretty firmly rooted as like the 3rd team in Denmark right now. And you have SK now. That's the new dog in town, basically. Hunden leading his pack over there. But I think that team still has a bit to prove here before they can start challenging Dignitas for the second tier slot in Denmark. I mean, yeah. TSM right now pretty much untouchable. Hell, you know, basically making leaps and bounds towards like a top 3 position in the world right now, not just Denmark. So as far as Dignitas are concerned, yeah, it's a bit. It's definitely like positive as far as like the progress that they've been making. But I feel like this is also just an extremely emotional team, if that's the right way to put it, where they can get they can give into emotion, they can get frustrated, they can show that actually we're humans after all. And right now, we're frustrated with our lack of progress sometimes, where it feels like perhaps they're taking a step back rather than taking that step forward that they really want to be taking.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but I think that the sort of emotional feel to this team, or to at least some of the players, comes as a result of the fact that they really badly want to win and compete at a high level and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's sort of a reaction to that. Whereas some people get emotional just because they can't stand other people criticizing them, or they don't think anything is ever their fault. So whenever someone does say, well, maybe this was your fault, they get emotional and things go sideways. I don't think that's what's going on Dignitas. But sure, I mean, maybe the breakthrough moment for them comes when they have just a couple of good land victories, something like that, something where they can start to feel like, okay, look, we've actually kind of made it. Now we just have to keep making it, and maybe they'll relax a bit more. But I understand what you mean, definitely. Yeah, but actually, I mean, just to go back to I think that's one of the things that makes them really fun to watch. Like, I know that any game that Pimp is playing in, it means a lot to him. I know that he's not just going to show up and say, oh, well, shrug of the shoulder and be like, oh, it's just any old day. I know he'll take it like 110% seriously. And that somehow that like translates into me watching it. Like, I enjoy that. But it can backfire. I agree. It definitely can backfire.
Yeah, no, that's right. And also something to consider is that it's quite a young team just as far as the age is concerned. You have a couple guys. I mean, well, AC's like 18, Kjærby is like just turned 17, Pimp is barely cracking the 20s, and MSL as well. So I mean, it's a very young team, all things considered, as far as just how they're competing and how long they have ahead of them as far as their careers are concerned. So right now, you have to look at it this way. That's like, this is a team that is still still trying to figure out what they need to do to be able to compete against the best, basically, and they have a few years left where they're going to be able to get the experience necessary to compete. Like, they're already making tracks, they're already challenging the top tier, and they have so much ahead of them as far as just like evolving their own game that there's a lot of potential on this team is basically what I'm trying to say here. There's a lot of potential.
I also feel like they've managed to dodge, at least so far, they've managed to dodge something that would have been unfortunate for them, which is that they would have become some sort of farming team for TSM, right?
Yeah.
Like, that TSM becomes the best team, and whenever something isn't working in TSM, they look down at Dignitas and say, well, who's your best player right now? Let's try and pick him up. And then, then Dignitas are just like forever stuck in this weird position where they can't keep good players around. They seem to have avoided that, so that's cool as well. Mm-hmm. They're going to be playing Flipsid, who are having a hard time actually showing up for the server here, which I think is because of the Steam summer sale, Semler.
Oh,
have you
really?
got your money like locked up somewhere so that Gaben doesn't find them?
Exactly. Like, I've never been fallen victim to this summer sale, winter sale, all this sort of stuff that everybody keeps going on and on about.
I do have friends that do it. I have friends that just like they're students, they're poor, they live off of like ramen exclusively or something. They just they can't eat anything at all, but then they use all their money on the Steam summer sale or winter sale or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's mad.
Well, guys, the reason why we're still on the cam is because there really isn't anything happening in the game. So everybody's just kind of like standing around. There really isn't. We're still waiting on Flipside to join up, and the reason why it's a little bit delayed with Flipside is because they just finished a match as well. I think it was a best of 3, so they literally just won a best of 3, 16-14. So they might be taking a couple minutes to basically get a breather. Markloff has joined the server, and whatever, we'll throw it over just so you guys can stop whining and chat. But you know what? There we go, and it's Markloff just kind of like chilling out over in CT spawn right now, but I think he's AFK as well. So we're waiting on Flipside to get in, basically.
Well, you know what? I'm actually quite excited to be watching Overpass, Semler, because I've been looking in Inferno a lot recently, and I was actually going to record the Inferno video yesterday, but I was so tired that I ended up like I did the recording and I rewatched it, and it was like 4 in the morning, and I realized I was just like slurring, and I wasn't making any sense. So I thought, look, this is going to be a stupid video. I'm not going to release this, so I have to re-record Inferno at some point when I'm more awake. But I've also been looking at Overpass a fair bit recently, and there are some crazy things you can do on this map that I hadn't realized. But I spent like a couple of hours running around, and yeah, I'm actually now I sort of you know this, Sumner, but I'll tell everyone else as well. This happens to me all the time. Whenever I like gear up to try and look at a map and I spend a lot of time on it, whenever I discover anything, I go into like an instant paranoia mode where I'm afraid that someone else will also discover it and put it on the Reddit first. So now I've reached that stage with Overpass. I'm like, don't do these things. Like, just stay away from this area. There's nothing fun to see here. Just keep, go on. But yeah, I've got some fun stuff coming up on this map.
Well, that's good, dude, because Overpass, I mean, without the skyboxes, it does feel like there's a lot of potential. I mean, you talk to the pros, and a lot of them are just like, well, if you throw a nade from upper or lower or whatever, you see the nade trajectory, and so that kind of gives it away, which makes it difficult to get the fakes going or whatever, right? That in your mind's eye, when you're theorizing, you're thinking, oh, yeah, dude, this is going to be sick. Like, you could totally fake out B from A or A from B, or, they'll never know where you're coming from. But then you talk to a pro, and they're like, yeah, actually, it's kind of, like, really easy to see that. So then you're kind of left wondering, like, what is there, really? I guess since the big change to the bomb site, that actually prompted some evolution on the map, essentially as to how teams are actually holding on CT side. TSM started using boosts a lot on this bomb site, trying to change up that way. You had a lot of movement then, right? But apart from like a hard change to a map, how do you evolve, Anders? Which direction are you going in here, mate?
Well, I mean, I will...
Tough. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, bro.
No. I've got like some specific tricks that I'll keep hidden for a while, but I've got something that I've really been thinking about, and I guess we can open the discussion on that. I definitely think it's possible, although not all the pro players that I've talked to so far about this have agreed with me. Some have said it sounded like good fun, but a lot of people have said maybe not. So anyway, my theory is that it's actually possible to play the B-bomb side on this map entirely on retake. Really? I think it's actually possible to play this. I mean, I have an idea that you can set up grenades so that as soon as you hear the bomb going down, you can essentially just like grenade whoever is planting and kill them, and then do a retake after that.
So where would you be retaking from? Like sewers going up short, or from upper site?
Yeah, maybe even like sniper spot and the main entrance coming out of the A connector. Like really, actually quite far back in the site. Obviously, you're going to try and pick people off as they come in.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of issues. Like playing retake, I've been like, that's one of the things I've been looking at. And playing retake is really hard because you have to know how many grenades and how much they have. If you say, all right, let's play retake, but then it turns out they have 5 smokes and they don't use any of them getting to the site, and they have 5 Molotovs as well, but then great luck, retaking. That is going to be smoking and Molotoving all day,
Yeah.
So it's an approach that requires a lot of different things, basically. But that's one of the things I've been trying to look at, because and I'll tell you why this sort of came into my mind. It's just the fact that on B, there aren't that many places to stand once the bomb is down,
Yeah, like you got like Pit. So I'm showing Pit right now on the stream. You got Pit. And you've got basically behind Monster.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess there's like the place where like the giant grid is, whatever it's called. Like if the Monster is on the right hand side and the left hand side, you can stand there. But a lot of these places could be pretty easily grenaded out. So I mean, I don't know. It's still like a work in progress in my mind. I haven't actually tested it out at all. But I'm just thinking there aren't that many places you can really stand. So maybe if you were playing a retake, you'd kind of know where to throw your grenades or something like that. Yeah, work in progress.
That comes down to like statistics, right? And figuring out where players like to be, or given a situation. Yeah, like given a situation, statistically, like where does a player go after a bomb has been planted with these many people alive? Like that's the difficult thing, like predicting, so you can actually make your nades valuable.
And I mean, just to touch up on that as well. I mean, that comes down to then also what team you're playing, and that is kind of how pro players actually approach playing another team. You don't just do a strat because it's a good strat. You obviously say, is this a good strat for this team, right? Because some teams will be playing in a very specific way, and then you have to know how to call based on that. I mean, that's not even like necessarily anti-stratting so much. It's just knowing your opponent on a basic level. So yeah, there's a lot to be built in that, but I want to see if I can make it work anyway, or I want to try and see if I can make you guys make it work. That's easier, isn't it? Yeah.
Whoa.
You know what?
Oh, never mind.
You know what the most relaxing thing is on this map?
What's that?
You know, by B, there's the cement mixer that's sort of outside of the map. It's just like right above the barrels.
Right above the barrels, right? Yeah. Okay.
If you fly into that with a camera and sort of turn around, you have like, I don't know, it's like very comforting, right? It's just like a one hole into the map. You should obviously